Welcome aboard, my friends. Here we are in the Great Hall. A week or so ago, I was making a movie and I was doing some push-ups, and Longbow Man 69, that's Cody. Cody saw a pellet gun behind me and said that one of his favorite things along shooting, or with shooting bows, is that he likes pellet guns and BB guns and CO2. Anyhow, he was asking about this. So this is a .177 pellet gun, right? And that's the little pellet right there. Now this gun is really, really neat, even though it's a fairly cheap one. I had it for sale for $89 until I confiscated it. But it's got a great little sight. Can you see that? Let's see if you can see that. The sight here has got two little green dots. And then on the front sight, if you can see that, there's a red dot. So all you have to do is line up your red dot between the two little green ones and sight it in. And it shoots pretty good. A beautiful thing about this pellet gun, you know, if I had had this when I was 14, I would have thought I was in heaven. But one of the things about pellet guns is you always got to bang them to open, you know. But this guy here has a little button, and all you have to do is just press that button, and it will open up real easy for you. And then you can just put in your pellet. Cock it. It's air pressure, so it doesn't cost you anything, you know. And then all you have to do, and I'll use both eyes. So in Canada, they're really down on guns, as Peter and I were discussing. But you can still get a pellet gun. And I may show you my ARs and all kinds of stuff I have, but you're not allowed to take them out of the safe anymore. What good is that? But anyhow, that's how this little gun operates. And it's kind of neat. It's kind of fun. I'll show you something. So what we have here is a little cardboard guy. And if you take a look at this, it would be about the size of a man at about 80, 90 yards. But of course, we've just got about a pellet gun. But if you take a nice look, you see that I whacked him 3 times in the chest. Just keep my finger in. You see, the only thing in the world worth killing is a man. And really, that's a very bad thing. Okay, boys, back in a minute. Okay, guys, I want to make something perfectly clear. Even though I show you how to shoot a bow like Asian cord, or we've got swords and axes and all these kinds of things, or we have a historical past, or I'm just showing you how you can shoot a pellet gun at a cardboard cutout, I realize that that's a cardboard cutout. That's not a human being. I do not approve of killing people whatsoever. It's wrong. Generally pretty cowardly also. But when I say that the only thing worth killing is a man, in my mind, that means an enemy soldier who's in your country trying to take over. That's what I'm talking about. Not about being a mad dog. Okay, boys. I'll teach you some more stuff. Have fun. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, guys. I've trained a lot shooting at foam animals and cardboard cutouts of men. The sane person knows that that's training. That's what that is. It's training. It's not hurting anybody or really trying to hurt anybody. You know, you have to be sane when you're practicing and know the difference between real people and just training items. So when I was in the Army, it was really neat. We used to have these courses where they had mechanical pop-up targets. They'd be black and about the size of a man. So anyhow, you know, you'd just be walking along. I had a little 9mm machine gun. Oh yeah. And the target would pop up, say 20 yards, and you just go, brrr, down it goes. Walk along, next one, pop, brrr, down it goes. And you used to be able to paint the target, I call it. It was kind of fun, you know. It's like the target would come up and you fire. And if you saw the first round, say, hit to the right a bit, just move it to the left a little bit. Brrr. Well, it was great. So I've done years and years and years of training, that kind of training. But at no time do I ever think that it's a human being or that my penis is bigger than somebody else's because I've got a gun. You know, some little punks running around Toronto here, you know, they're got their little blue and red bandanas on, they're popping each other. You know, it's like, oh, I've got a gun, I've got to use it. No, kid, you don't have to use it. Oh, but I do. You're a stupid kid. Anyhow, I have never once been driving down the street and had somebody cut me off and get really mad, going to road rage and think, I'm going home and get a gun. What baloney. Anyhow, grow up. Here we got a nice little red target. And we bopped him. Take that, you little red target. Okay, back in a minute. Okay. This is kind of a, you know, the arrow is right in the center. Okay, I'll do it that way. You know, guys, one of the things that I've noticed after years and years of shooting is that bringing your head to the arrow is actually a mistake. Now, we've all seen archers do it. You've done it. I've done it. But I'm telling you, when you draw and you put the arrow on the center, and if you draw, it's actually going on, see, the tip is on the center, but the back is on an angle. And if I bring my head over here, I can easily just adjust it a little tiny bit, and that will cause me to actually shoot left. Holding the bow vertical, I think, is a mistake because the arrow is always tilting that way. I really believe that we need to cant the arrow to get it lined up. We have to get it behind our eye or just under our eye. And it's the back or the left that aims. If your arrow nock is under your eye, it's lined up. It's the tip that's not lined up. The back is lined up here. The back is lined up here. The back is lined up here. So, When you get back and the back is lined up, but you still find that your arrow is like that, you simply do that. Or you get back and you find that it's like that, you know the back is correct, so what do? Bring it over, bring it up. Aim with your left. Okay? I think I've explained that kind of okay there. I'll show you. When you're doing this kind of stuff, the first one, of course, I was shooting at the little red target there, and it got in the center, so rather than do that, I took a couple shots down lower, and you can see, bango, bango, wango, tango. So that's what we're all about here. I'm teaching you simple techniques so that you can have a great time shooting a bow. Back in a minute. Oh my Lord. It's hot and heavy today. Let us be part of Shakespeare's play. Knocked it down. Anyhow, let's take a couple other shots. Deadly friendly. That's enough. You know, some of you have said about enjoying my costumes when I'm doing era stuff. It's kind of fun, isn't it? This is the kind of tin pot that the English had in the Middle Ages. And they shaped the First World War helmets and Second World War helmets sort of similar. So that's kind of an interesting thing. The two-feather idea is working really, really good. It's just so easy, just to slide that arrow on. You know, because you don't have to ever turn it to see where the slot is. It's automatically going to be, you know, right there. Just you can't screw it up. Well, maybe you could, but you know, it's hard to do. And let's see. Another thing that you wouldn't know, but archery gets so personal after a while. This leather glove, when I'm relaxing my fingers, I can hear this squeak, 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 squeak. You know the creak of leather? It just creaks, and I can hear it. It's become part of my shot sequence. When I hear it, I can tell that I'm relaxing my fingers, and when the arrow just gets on, I just stop. But that's a thing, so that's one thing. Anyhow, let's see. Take a couple. Anyhow, what happened down here was I took a shot, and I had this red target, so you can see the arrow in it. So it fell down from up there. And anyhow, so then I took a shot, and, you know, you get it into this other target. So that's all we can do, you know. So rather than shooting, I'm trying to explain stuff to you also. Okay, back in a minute. Okay, guys, so a couple of you said that you enjoy the costumes and the medieval garb. So today I've got on my gambeson. It's a bit padded so that it can help stop cuts and slashes. And I'm kind of paranoid about sharp things, so I have a lot of them myself, like arrows and my sax, which is basically a big knife that I use to peel my onions and my enemies, and a short sword. So anyhow, I'll show this stuff to you. Oh yeah, and my helmet. This helmet is to stop things from coming down from the castle walls and hitting you on the head. Good idea. Anyhow, this is what it would look like basically. Got the bow, we've got our arrows. We have a very handy knife called a sax, but really it's a dagger, you might as well say. Also for crowd control, we have our sword. And swords are sharp, so when you put it away, grab it right by the tip, and then you can just feel the scabbard, and it will slide in without a problem of cutting your hand or anything like that. But this is the Garb. Lots of protection on the hands, forearms, fingers, head, body. Okay, anyhow, you like the costumes? There's one of them. Back in a minute. Well, guys, you know, it's kind of fun getting all dressed up medieval. Watch this. I mean, how simple is that? That's pretty good. Good enough for me. But putting the arrows on, very simple. That's enough. The idea of the two little boys working together, as soon as I put that arrow up, it's rolled on, and this guy comes in, you know. And people are always pointing stuff at you. I want you to be able to see this. Anyhow, I've put the arrow up, and the left hand will roll it, and the right hand will roll it, and it will go, I don't know if it's lined up to the camera, but it will just, the tip will be a bit on the left, and it will just go boom. It'll be right on. Okay? So that's a thing. And also, I'm telling you, draw to your eye. Once you do that, draw to your eye. It's absolutely essential. And do not put the arrow up and on and move your head in and start aiming. You will be off. You've got to come to the eye, not the eye to the line. It's the line to the eye, not the eye to the line. That will be a miss. The arrow will look straight, but you'll miss. Might catch on sometime. Open your ears. Anyhow, there's a couple of whacks, you know. That's all you gotta do. Whack that target. Okay, guys, back in a minute. Okay, my friends. Maybe we should go down to the tower this afternoon. I hear they're beheading the king. I took art in school. It was called drawing and quartering. Oh, there's nothing like a little medieval joke, eh? And we took a couple of shots and we hit it a couple of times. Medieval days, they were great. Okay, guys. It's perfect. I'll just leave it. You know, the idea that I was telling you about bringing the line to your eye is so important. And I'm sure that most of you can't even fathom what I'm talking about. It took me, hundreds of thousands of shots to actually realize it. But if your point is on, and you've drawn, and that point is on, if you put your head over there, it looks straight to the target, you know. If your arm is off on an angle and you get your eye behind it, it will line up and it will look straight to that target. It's not straight. I mean, it is straight visually, but it's not straight. It has to be at 180 degrees. The tip is on here, but the tip is on here too. Here it will hit, but here it will actually shoot over there. Do not bring your head and eye to the line. Roll your hands and bring the line to your eye. It's very, very important. Very important. Anyhow, that's all I can impress you with tonight. But as you can see, that's good enough. Dead center. I get the arrow aligned 180 degrees, the up from under look. Anyhow, boys, have fun, and I'll be talking to you later. Oh yeah, and I've got PayPal. $20 would be a nice gift. I think $20 would be real nice. It wouldn't break you. And it would be a nice way of saying thank you. So check out my PayPal account. And then send me a question. Glad to hear from you. Okay, boys. Have fun. Good night. Okay, Justin. I hope things are going okay. That you're having a good Christmas. Same to you, John. It's always neat hearing from you guys. It's kind of like the two little boys. The right guy through the tension just pulls the left guy on, so he lines up. They work together. Itchy forehead. Okay. So this is another principle. The two hands are connected through the bow. And so when the right hand pulls, if you're used to that kind of pressure, you can allow your left hand to be pulled around until visually it lines up. Okay, so they're working together, which is more than most people do. And if you allow the right hand to pull the left into position, you'll see that you'll get Nice tight groups. Good hits. Okay, boys. Back in a minute.